I'm Gigi. I'm the sister of Frank. Frank is the third in our family of 10, and I am number 9. So there is about 11 years between us. Back then, we knew him as B-Boy. That was his name. He was born after the war and was a very big baby compared to my other brother, Ente, who was born during the war. He was a very small baby, and I think he almost died. So when Frank was born, he was named Big Boy, that eventually became B-Boy. So growing up, I did not really get to know him personally because of our age gap. And he left the house early to study abroad. Then he got busy with life, away from our home, and then his mission. Plus, of course, it didn't help that Frank hardly talks. My late Mommy Lily used to call him the Sphinx. In family reunions, he would be there, he would listen, he would smile, he nods, and he answers with one word. Yes, no, okay, good. When he's asked for his opinion about usual things, he would just shrug. So, he was the Sphinx to all of us. But when I first saw him give a talk in CFC, I was flabbergasted. Is that my brother? Is that the Sphinx? He's so eloquent. He spoke for more than an hour without stopping, with so much expression and passion. Is this my brother B-Boy? No, this was now Frank. Even his name changed. So our next phase with each other was getting to know him more as a spiritual leader, listening to his teachings, reading his books, being in Couples for Christ and Theodora. It was only recently, though, I must admit, that I got to know him more as a person and as a brother. In our visits to him when he was already sick, he shared about his early life. I always thought that he was the model son, honor student, valedictorian, an obedient son, and my mother's favorite. But he told us that he was really very rebellious, almost got expelled in school. I hope the grandchildren are not listening. Was really a problem to our parents, and our parents were kept on being called to school by the principal. He told us of his transformation, and I asked him, why is it from being valedictorian, good student, etc., he suddenly became rebellious? He said, I discovered pearls. So, and then came the phase of visiting him when he was sick. We talked about life and death. I asked him, what did he expect to happen when he died? And he talked about meeting our Lord and the happiness he would feel. He didn't want to live long if the quality of life is poor. He didn't want endless waiting in line in doctors' offices. He wanted to continue to work and go on mission, which he did until the end. He reminded us that the end goal of life was to return to our Creator. He said, do not resuscitate or use any extraordinary means. He said, if you do that to me, you don't love me. He looked forward to going home, and he was very prepared. He didn't have pain, but breathing got harder and harder for him. It was also hard for him to eat. Later on, he said he prayed for respite, and he asked that we stop praying already for his healing. In spite of all of this, he was in good humor. The last time I saw him and I was going to say goodbye, I said, goodbye, Mr. Skeleton. Because I always teased him, he was a skeleton. And he gave me a very naughty smile. That was my last memory of his face while alive, and I will always treasure this. Thank you.